So, I mean, okay, so I think the best place to start for us this week is probably the most recent, the most recent game, which was the Champions League final on Saturday evening. And what a final it was. Obviously, PSG getting to not their first final, I think is it their second final, I think they got to. Got to a previous final, I think, where Munich may have beaten them. I can't remember. I didn't do my research on who beat them in the previous final. I think it was Munich. But Inter Milan in their second final in the last couple of years. I think last time they were there was 22-23. Yeah. And they lost to Manchester City 1-0 in that final. So it was really set up, really poised. You've got Inter Milan who were like, okay, we missed out last time. We're coming here to get it done this time. You got PSG who were like, you know, we're on top. We are the best team in the Champions League, despite what other managers may have said that went out in previous rounds. They have been the best team in the Champions League, and I think it was just a case of them going there and making sure they showed that in the final as well.
I think what was really poetic about this Champions League final was PSG got the money. They went out and they bought all the Galacticos, tried to reproduce what Real Madrid did, and never ever quite got it across the line.
Yeah.
This season, they've taken a new direction. Mbappe was the last to go. And then they're bringing in young, hungry French players.
Yeah.
And you're watching a PSG side absolutely tear apart, the incessant pressing, the supporting each other. You're seeing, yes, my brother, you're seeing Hakimi like bombing up and down the right hand side. You're seeing Dembele going back to put in challenges. You're seeing Doué, Barcola, K Maradona. I don't even know how to pronounce his name.
Chevalier.
Nah, K Maradona. I can say that you know who I'm talking about. And it's not just what they did offensively, it's what they did defensively as well. They didn't give teams time to breathe. And then you get to the final, you got the old trusted Inter Milan defensive shape, 3-5-2, always played the 3-5-2. Lautaro Martinez up front with Marcus Thuram. Battle of the styles.
Yeah.
Battle of the styles.
So true. And as you rightly say, it was not an easy route for PSG to get to the final. You know, there's sometimes where you get certain teams in the final, you're like, yeah, but you know, they were lucky to avoid the big hitters in the competition. I mean, when you look at PSG, they had to come through some mammoth tasks, right? I think, as did Inter, by the way, But I think when you look at PSG, the fact they had to obviously beat the likes of Liverpool along the way, they beat the likes of Man City along the way, they beat the likes of Arsenal along the way as well. You know, they got...
You're missing the team, bro.
Aston Villa, my bad. I was getting to that. I was just scrolling down. Oh, yeah. There we go.
That's the quarterfinals and we beat them at Villa Park. But anyway, we'll move on.
There we go. Don't worry, man. I got you.
All right. Making sure, brother. Making sure.
I got you. And how... So we'll talk about the Champions League format later on, yeah, after we maybe cover the game itself. But how crazy is it that a team that finished 15th in the league phase went on to win the Champions League and were by far the best team? But there was a turning point, which is where the league phase finished before Christmas. In fact, I think it went on just after Christmas, didn't it, the league phase, because there's so many games to play. But it was in January where I think they got the jewels in their crown that allowed them to play the football they played over the last 4 or 5 months of the season.
But do you remember the time, I think it was about November, December, when there was rumours that Dembele had fallen out of Enrique and he wasn't playing?
Yeah.
And you watch it and you're thinking, is it going to be a typical Paris Saint-Germain internal collapse thing? But it seems like whatever they did during that period to get themselves through that period, they came out of that period stronger.
Yeah.
And since they've come out of that period, you haven't heard any of that non-football related stuff happening.
Yeah, exactly that.
And where has Doué come from? Beginning of the season, it was Barcola.
Yeah.
It's like, oh yes, he's a good player. Don't get me wrong, Barcola is a good player. But I think for me, the changing point when watching Doué was when he played Liverpool and he came on.
Yeah.
He was just different.
Well, he was unplayable. You know, when you talk about an unplayable player, that was, well, the whole front two was unplayable in that first game. But let's